So today we are going to start talking about equations. Okay. We know it's an equation because it has an equal sign. Okay. We're going to go really slow and like every day add like one new skill. Okay. So first let's talk about what we do when we solve an equation. Okay. The first thing we need to do is we need to locate where our variable is because that's what we want to get by itself. Is it an X? Is it an R? Is it a T? I don't care what it is. It needs to be by itself. Okay? When it is not by itself, we need to figure out, hey, how is that number tied to its variable? Is that number being added to our variable? Is that number being subtracted to our variable? Carlos, do you not want this anymore? Okay. In order to get rid of that number, we are going to use inverse operations. Okay? So let's talk about what an inverse operation would be. How would I undo addition? What's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. The inverse of addition is subtraction. So what we're going to do, if we have a number added to our variable, to undo it, we need to subtract. If we have a number subtracted to our variable, to undo it, we need to add. Now, it is important that we keep our equation balanced. So whatever we do to one side, we have to also do to the other side of our equal sign to make sure we maintain balance. And that's something, correct me if I'm wrong, you've heard about before, right? Yeah? Okay. So, let's zoom in on number one. Okay? The first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a line. I call this our fence. Okay? Whatever we do to one side of our equal sign, we have to do to the other. So if we draw a fence, that's going to help us keep track of did we do the same thing to both sides. Okay? Now, let's find our variable. What is our variable? X. Here it is right here. I want it to be by itself. Right now, it's not by itself because what's next to it? A 7 that's tied to X by addition. So, in order to get X by itself, we need to get rid of this plus 7. Okay? So we need to undo the addition. What is the inverse of addition? Subtraction. So to undo this plus 7, we need to minus 7. But whatever we do to one side, we have to also do to the other side. Okay. Now tell me, what happens when we take 7 plus negative 7? Okay, and that's the whole point. That cancels out and is now 0. Those are ugly colors, Miss Hillman. And we now have X equals -8. -1 minus 7. If we add the opposite, we have -1 plus -7, that's -8. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to circle or box your answer. Okay? But anytime we solve an equation, we can always check to see if we have the right answer. Okay? So we're going to check. Are you ready? Our equation is X plus 7 equals -1. If I replace X with -8, is -8 plus 7 equal to -1? Beautiful. Then we have the right answer. Okay, we can always check to see if we have the right answer. Now, I know that some of you can do math in your head, and I think that that's really cool. But I need you to show me the -7 to both sides. If you don't draw your fence, I can live with that if you don't need the fence. But I need to see that you subtracted 7 from both sides. Like, I need to see that work. Okay. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2. Draw your fence. I'll use better colors this time. All right. What's our variable? M. And I am noticing that there is M minus 11. So since 11 is being subtracted, we need to undo the subtraction. So Elaine, what do we need to do to both sides? What do we need to do to both sides to undo the subtraction? We need to add. Since 11 is being subtracted, to undo it, we need to add 11 to both sides. So notice how on my fence, I have plus 11 on each side. Okay. Well, what happens? Negative 11 plus 11, those undo each other. And we're left with M equals, what's negative 9 plus 11? 2. Okay. We can check our work. Is 2 minus 11 equal to negative 9? Cool. I will also tell you something really exciting. During this unit, I will allow you to use calculators.
Yes.
So if you are ever at a moment where you're like, I would really like a calculator to help me, just remember there's a number sticker right in front of you. That corresponds to what calculator you get to use. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 3. Can you tell me what is a little bit different about number 3? Ellie? The variable's on the right side. That is fine. Okay. We can still draw our fence. We can still recognize that, hey, here's our variable. It's just going to be on the right side instead of the left side. That's fine. Okay. Now, what we need to determine which number is with H. 14. 14 is the number that's with H. So 14 is the number that we need to move. How are we going to undo? Well, what operation is in between H and 14? This is being added. So to undo it, how do we undo add? So we need to subtract 14 to both sides. Okay. I know that some of us, it's tempting to want to move that 9. Okay. But make sure you're moving the number that is on the same side as your letter. That way we can get the variable by itself. Okay. So these are going to undo. And what do we get? Over here we have H. What do we get when we have 9 minus 14? Negative what?
5.
Negative 5. Okay, just to make sure we did it right, 9 equals 14 plus h. But if h is negative 5, do we agree that 14 plus negative 5 will equal our 9? Sure?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very confident, Channing. Okay. All right, now number 4 makes me just a little bit nervous. So we're going to talk through number 4. Could everybody draw their fence first? Okay, and here's W, our variable. We want W by itself, which means that 15, I need to be not there. What operation is happening? Okay, I hear addition and I hear negative. So I know that we see that this is a plus, which makes us think, ooh, I need to subtract 15. But tell me this, what's negative 15 minus 15? Is negative 30. So that's not going to help us. Since there is this guy right here with the 15, we actually need to undo the subtraction because this is a subtract 15. So we're really going to have to add 15 to both sides so that negative 15 plus 15, now those cancel. And we have W equals 29. All right, so this is what I want you to do. I would like you to try number 5 and 6. Ready, set, go. Number 5 and 6. We're trying number 5 and 6. This is what we're going to do. Are you ready? Will you look at that sticker that has a number in front of you, and do you see where there's a shape?
What? Oh.
If you are a square, you're just, when I say go, when you're a square, you're going to take your notes to the door. If you're a circle, you're going to come up here by my desk. If you're a triangle, you're going to come over here by the window. And if you are a hexagon, you're going to come over here by my cabinet. Now, when you do, take your notes, go to that corner, and collectively compare answers and make sure everybody agrees on the answers for both of these problems. Ready, set, go. Squares by the door, circles by my desk that I didn't spell right.
Where are circles at?
Circles are by my desk. Okay, there should be more than one hexagon by my cabinet. There should be more than 2 hexagons. Hexagons over there, okay. Yep, over here. So everybody compare what you have for both of those and make sure we agree on an answer. Everybody compare. You're done? What do you all have for those answers? Do we all agree on those? Okay. Do we all have the same answer? Do we all actually look at each other? Like we actually all agree? Okay, it's just really plain. How did you do it? Do we have the same answers over here?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we tried.
Okay. Head back to your seat. All right, so Matthew, what did you do to both sides of number 5? Add what? Okay, so since 8 is being subtracted to k, we need to add 8 to both sides so that we can get k equals negative 13, right? Okay, Jacob Tanner, what did you do to both sides of number 6? We added 4 so that we could undo this minus 4 right here. So these cancel out and we have v equals 3. Ellie. Oh, okay. So some of you maybe had a teacher last year who was really, really picky about v or variable, whatever, being on the left side. So here's what I'll say. I am okay with you leaving it like this. I'm also okay if you switch it to be this. I don't care. Some of you, maybe it like just visually looks better to have k equals, x equals, whatever. I will be flexible. I just want you to be able to get to the answer. Okay? So this is your job. Your job is page 6. There's 9 problems on page 6. I would like you to go ahead and get started.